my name is Kieran Swain, and today I am going to tell you how I created an allergy-friendly cottage bakery. I decided to call my business Kieran's Confections. First, I went through the planning process. Identify concerns, set a goal, form a plan, act, and follow up. My concern was that there are not enough options in our community for people with dietary restrictions wanting to order something from a bakery. My goal was to open a functional, allergy-friendly cottage bakery. To form a plan, I went through who, what, when, where, how, cost, resources, and evaluation of my business plan. To act, I will start my business as described in my business plan. To follow up, I will ask my customers to fill out a survey that I create to make sure they are satisfied with my business. I decided to start an allergy-friendly bakery because my family is gluten-free and dairy-free, and I have noticed that there is nothing catering to that in our area. I know we are not the only people in the area with dietary restrictions, and I wanted to make a business that made it a little easier for someone who is busy and wants to order a cake or treats for a party. Kieran's Confections' mission is to create delicious treats that cater to people who have food allergies or dietary restrictions that make it harder to just go and buy something. How my business will run is I will have customers call or email me with an order. I will advertise cakes, donuts, and cookies. If a customer has a specific dessert in mind, they can ask me and I will figure out if I'm able to make it for them. All baked goods can be made gluten-free. When I have them email me, I will make sure to tell them to say what allergies they have. My business won't have a physical shop. It will be run and advertised online, so customers will have to tell me a couple of days in advance what the order they need is. I will work out with the customer whether they come to pick up the order at my house or whether I will deliver it. Since there is no physical shop, there are no specific hours of operation. That will be worked out between the customer and me. The demographic I am catering to are people who have food allergies or dietary restrictions and want to have baked goods made for a party or a special occasion. I think there is a need for this type of business in my area because nothing is available like this yet. In many larger cities, there are allergy-friendly bakeries, and it is such a treat to find one. I don't know the exact number of people in the area who have food allergies, but it is estimated that there are 32 million Americans with food allergies, including 5.6 million children under the age of 18. 1 in every 13 children has a food allergy, and about 40% of children with food allergies have more than one. It is likely that the number of food allergies is even higher in our area than in other areas because we are so close to the Mayo Clinic. I have decided that the easiest option when first starting my business would be to get a cottage baking license. A cottage baking license is a license that allows the person to bake the food from their own personal kitchen, up to a certain amount of revenue. After applying and receiving the license, if I am making under $5,000 a year, I just need to submit a free form. If I start making over $5,000, I would have to pay a fee and go to a restaurant and get a little more professional training in food safety. The site I will be using includes 2 ovens, several large countertops, and a triple sink. The countertops are granite and the baking pans I will be using are metal. This ensures that I can thoroughly disinfect and prevent cross-contamination. I will be using water and power from our own house, and I have talked to my parents about whether I need to pay for utilities. They said that I don't need to pay any rent for now. If my business expands, I will reevaluate. These are my plans should an emergency arise. Fire. Call 911 and exit through one of the windows located around the kitchen or through doors located on either side, 1 room away. Burn. If myself or another person got badly burned, I would either drive to the hospital or call someone who could drive them or an ambulance, depending on the severity, to take me or them to the hospital. Spill. If something got spilled, it could become a slip and fall hazard. I would clean it up right away using the best method depending on what it was. My maintenance plan is daily. Wipe down and disinfect countertops, sweep floor, and wash used pans and utensils. Weekly. Mop floor and shop for ingredients. Monthly. Deep clean ovens, empty, wash, and replenish ingredients containers, check smoke detectors. I will be purchasing my basic supplies from Walmart, Target, and Costco, depending on the lowest price. I might also purchase supplies from Aldi, Trader Joe's, and Azure Standards Wholesale. I have some money set aside for annual maintenance such as oven cleaning. I have other equipment such as a stand mixer that I will take care of if something happens. When I first start my business, I will be baking out of my own kitchen. If my business becomes successful and more well-known, I will think about moving my business to a larger facility in the coming years. When my business starts, I will do all the tasks myself. If my business expands enough, I will hire an assistant. I will look for baking experience, willingness to learn allergy-friendly baking, personable and works well with others, as well as able to drive for deliveries and getting to and from work. The average wage for a starting bakery assistant is $11.68. I would likely start their wages at about $12. It will depend on my business at the time and whether average wages change between now and in the next couple of years. When filling an order, my policies are: when filling an order, use tested recipes and ingredients, always clean kitchen and supplies thoroughly before and after every order to prevent cross-contact. I have thought about what I will need when I start my business, and I considered the options. I thought about whether I would need to take out a loan at the bank, and I have come to the conclusion that since I already will have most of the equipment required, I won't need a lot of money for startup costs. I will take some of the money I have saved in my bank account to start my business. If my business needs to expand in a couple of years, I will reconsider what would be the best choice. My price points are as follows: 75 cents per large allergy-friendly cookie, with 37 cents of profit. $25 per layered cake, serves 15, with $12 of profit. 60 cents per glazed donut, with 31 cents profit. I have created a budget plan for my first year in business. The budget includes the price of buying ingredients, supplies such as baking sheets and utensils, fees for the feast show in Rochester, fees for an assumed name, money to pay the newspaper for a small ad in 2 issues, and how much money I am going to make my first year. It tells me that I will break even unless something unexpected happens. By the 3rd month, I expect my sales to have doubled by word of mouth exposure, and by the 6th month, I expect my sales to have tripled. I also did some research and found that the sales tax for baked goods is 6.875%. I will be registered with the state of Minnesota as a cottage baker. Cottage food producers must do the following. 1. Register with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture before selling exempt food regardless of the amount of food sold. 2. Take an approved food safety course once every 3 years while actively selling cottage food. 3. Register with the MDA each year food is sold under the cottage food exemption. 4. Prepare and sell only non-potentially hazardous food, such as baked goods, certain jams and jellies, and/or home-canned pickles, vegetables, or fruits with a pH of 4.6 or lower. 5. Label food with your name and address, date produced, and the ingredients, including potential allergens. 6. Display a sign that says these products are homemade and not subject to state inspection. If you are selling on the internet, post this statement on your webpage. 7. Deliver food directly to the ultimate consumer. The person who makes the food must be the same person who sells and delivers the food. 8. Sell from a private home at farmers markets, community events, or on the internet. 9. Check with your local city, county, or township regarding business licensing or sales prohibitions due to zoning requirements. 10. Sell less than $18,000 in a calendar year. If you sell between $5,000 and $18,000 per year, a $50 fee applies to your registration. In the state of Minnesota, when you have a business name that does not contain the owner's entire full name, it is also required to file an assumed name/DBA form. There is a fee of $30 to submit this form through the mail. When this form is filed, it must also be published in the newspaper. Since my business will be primarily online, it will be important for my business to have a good online presence. I decided that I will advertise my business on Instagram and Facebook. I decided on these 2 sites for my business to advertise on because with Instagram it's all pictures, and with a bakery, you want your potential customers to be able to see what your food looks like. With a picture, they can remember that they've seen something that looks good and they can become intrigued and might order something in the future. I also decided to advertise on Facebook because many businesses have Facebook pages so that their potential customers can find them. Most of my demographic will also use Facebook because my clients will likely be millennials and middle-aged people, and they usually have Facebook. I also thought that a good way to spread the word in my first year of business would be to enter in the Feast Show in Rochester. This is a food show with an entry fee of $100. I thought that this would be a good way for people to find out about my business and get people talking. Thank you. Are there any questions?